Welcome back to Hermitcraft. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, I have had one heck of a morning because I have already recorded this episode. You can tell because there's chickens in there. There wasn't when I started recording. Yeah, I got recorded. I had a good 25 minutes or so, and I was all finished up. And, well, I was most of the way finished up. I stopped because I had to wait for these chickens to grow up and produce enough eggs to replace themselves. And that's when I found out that there was no mic audio on any of that. And that is just, ugh. Anyway, so here I am doing it again. And what I've got here is basically the input from the comments was quite helpful. And I've done some changes here. Like, for example, I am no longer filtering for feathers. I'm filtering for everything else. Feathers come last. If it gets to this point, it's a feather, and it goes in there. And I solved basically the problem. The way I've got the filter set up is like this, with 4 named netherrack, and the rest of it is the seeds. Anything over 41 goes through and ends up in the thing that, well, chest layer down below. And this one is for the poison potatoes, which will stack to 64. It's just going to take a little while to get that many of them. And so on. We're collecting the raw chicken and the taters and the carrots and the wheat and so on and so forth. That's all great. I solved the problem. It's basically eggs only stack to 16. And when something comes through here that only stacks to 16, it's going to give it's going to make the thing full a lot faster and cause the comparator to put out a signal strength of 3 or even 4 once the thing is filled, or even higher perhaps if it gets into more than one slot. Then that is going to actually overflow the overflow protection. And that's what was happening. But setting it up this way, it's all working a lot better. Because the main secret is I built another filter slice over here. This one is looking for eggs. And I named ender pearls as the filter blocking item, because they too only stack to 16. And by keeping the 16 stack items here, eggs come down in here, we're getting eggs in there, eggs in all the way through here, and of course here I've got my redstone signal that locks the hopper and prevents flow, so I can use the lever up there to turn it on and off. The only thing I've got left to do is to pull a redstone signal. Now I did a little bit of figuring it out here. These hoppers each hold 80 eggs. 5 stacks of 16 is 80. And when you throw an egg, you have a 1 in 8 chance of getting a chicken. And so I figured out that if I had hoppers filled up as far as this one, that would be enough to repopulate, and I could shut it off then. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the signal off of this hopper. And I'm going to run it down a little bit to get underneath of the hoppers. And then start running it up. There we go. All right, let's see. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Not gonna work. Signal's too weak at that point. So break this stuff out. Repeater. And then redstone here. I seem to recall, isn't there a thing you can do with slabs to staircase a signal up? Yes, you can. All right, and then one more here. Bang. Exactamundo. Perfect. How about that? All right, now that means light is on. That means, hey, there's enough eggs in here to repopulate the chickens to at least 100 chickens. There might be more, but yeah. So this will turn the circuit on that will allow eggs to go into the egg thrower. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to block my inventory so that I cannot pick up any of this stuff. And I'm going to go in here and slaughter the chickens. Go down here and follow the stuff. Got chicken going through. Okay, good. By pulling out eggs before it gets to this, the eggs don't get to this thing so that they can mess it up. Okay, we got chicken coming through. And what I want to look for is this thing to start tripping on feathers. There. I was thinking maybe I could disable that. Well, I can disable it. I could just go break that and break that to temporarily disable it. I want to see this thing actually filling up with feathers. Yeah, this should do the trick very nicely. Feathers are coming through now. Okay, we have feathers showing up. And everything else is just exactly the way I expect it to be. Now, more chicken coming through. Good. This is what I want. And this is the setup that is going to enable recycling the eggs. That's a decent amount of eggs when you count the 80 per hopper that is added to that. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. It was kind of an adventure doing this thing. But it was a learning experience too, because just figuring out that, like, for example, one of the things that was helpful was F3 screen. If you look over to the right, where it says Minecraft Redstone Wire, one of the things that it has is the power, the redstone signal strength. I hadn't noticed that before, that it shows what the strength of the signal is, and that can be helpful in diagnosing problems. Here I can see a 15 strength, and with each block I can see it going down. Yeah. Helpful. I hadn't ever actually noticed that before. But the main thing that solved this problem was just pulling the eggs first. I had set up over there to pull them last, and that means those eggs were running through, and that was messing up the signal strengths for the comparators here, which caused the overflow to overflow even beyond what the overflow protection is set for, because that's assuming that you're filtering something that stacks to 64. And you get something in here that stacks to 8, and that would screw this up, and that. Yeah, but the thing is actually working. And I'm sorry I don't have more for you right now, because I did have the whole process of figuring this out and getting it working. But, like I said, audio problems. For some reason, it just didn't get recorded. And then, of course, this was extended downward to account for the new lower return altitude, so that I didn't have to have another elevator bringing it back up to put it into here. I figured one was plenty. But the system is working and doing what I wanted it to. Sorry I don't have a whole lot more for you, but I've already used a bunch of time on this, and now I ended up having to do it again, or a part of it. I couldn't just do the whole thing over again, just tear the whole thing out and reset it back the way it was and do it over again. No. That's just too cheesy for words. But in the meantime, the thing is working, and I can now move on to doing something else. And I think that just possibly what I might be doing sometime soon might just involve a whole lot of rockets. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I am out of here.